I overheard my coworker say she loves imagining angel tree kids crying on Christmas morning, and I spent 2 weeks planning what to do about it. I was refilling my coffee in the break room when I heard Brooke laughing with 2 women from accounting about the angel tree in our lobby. I grabbed 6 tags this morning, she said, leaning back in her chair with a satisfied smile, but I have no intention of buying a single thing. One of the women asked why she would do that, and Brooke shrugged like it was obvious. Poor people shouldn't have kids if they can't afford Christmas presents. Maybe a few disappointed children will teach their parents a lesson about keeping their legs closed. The women went quiet, but Brooke kept going, saying she loved imagining their pathetic little faces on Christmas morning when there was nothing under the tree. I've been doing this for years at every angel tree I can find, she said. Someone has to stop rewarding these people for breeding. She laughed like she had just told the funniest joke in the world, and I stood behind the coffee machine knowing I was going to destroy her. My first call was to the community center that ran our office angel tree. A woman named Robin answered. Do you ever have problems with tags being taken and gifts never showing up? I asked, and there was a long pause before she said anything. How did you know about that? She whispered. An hour later, we were sitting across from each other at a coffee shop. Every year for the past 6 years, a handful of children just never get their gifts, Robin told me. I stayed up on Christmas Eve last year sobbing because I thought I was doing something wrong. I reported myself to my supervisor 3 times. I reached across the table and told her it wasn't her fault, that someone had been stealing those tags on purpose, and she covered her mouth with her hand. I kept investigating. The story that destroyed me came a week later from a father named Harley, who slid a photograph of a sweet little girl across the table. This is Amber, he said. Last year she asked for watercolor paints because her teacher said she had real talent. When nothing came on Christmas morning, she looked at me and said, Daddy, why does Santa think I'm bad? He had to look away from me. She stopped drawing after that. My baby girl decided nobody wanted to see her art, and she just gave up. That night I found Brooke's Facebook posts where she wrote that the best part was knowing some of those kids probably cried themselves to sleep and that she wished she could watch. I finally decided how I was going to handle this. The office holiday party was packed when I walked up front and asked to say a few words. My manager smiled and handed me the microphone, and I gestured toward Robin and Harley in the back. This is Robin, and she's run the Angel Tree program here for 8 years, I said. Robin, can you tell everyone what's been happening? Robin walked up with trembling hands and told the room about the missing tags and the guilt that kept her up at night. I thought I was the reason those children woke up with nothing, she said. I watched Brooke try to back toward the door, but there were people in her way. I pulled up screenshots on the projector. This is Brooke writing that poor people should be sterilized, I said, clicking to the next image. And this is Brooke saying she wishes she could watch parents explain to their kids that nobody cares about them. The room was dead silent. Brooke, you want to tell everyone what you've been doing for the last 6 years? Every head turned, and instead of crumbling, she lifted her chin. Yeah, I took the tags, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Every year for 6 years, I grabbed as many as I could and threw them in the trash, and I'd do it again. Someone in the crowd asked her why, and she laughed. Because someone has to teach these people that if you can't afford to give your kids Christmas, you shouldn't have had them in the first place. Harley stepped forward with a photograph. Her name is Amber, he said, his voice steady, even though his hands were shaking. She was 7 years old when she stopped believing she was worth anything because of you. Brooke looked at the picture of that little girl, looked Harley directly in the eyes, and said, maybe she wasn't. The gasp that went through the room was deafening, and our CEO pointed at the door. Get out, he said. You're fired. Security grabbed her arms, and she screamed that we were all snowflakes as they dragged her through the doors. Within 20 minutes, the office had raised enough money to buy gifts for every child Brooke had stolen from. But the part that got me was when the CEO walked over to Harley and asked for Amber's full name so he could personally make sure she got those watercolor paints and art lessons for as long as she wanted them.